Welcome back to the Yoga Challenge. Today is day 4. I am so glad that you have made it here and that you are continuing on this journey with me. I know that it is hard to stay consistent, but here you are. So I'm really proud of you for being here. So today's postures are figure 4 and pigeon. They're both going to target the glutes and hip complex. One is belly up, one is belly down, and they're both interchangeable. You can choose which one works best for you. Some folks like figure 4 because they feel the stretch more, but some folks like pigeon for that reason. So it's really going to depend on where you're at. I'm going to walk you through them both. We're going to hold them for a little while, and then you can explore on your own as well. I will say that pigeon is one of the poses that I find the use of props absolutely amazing. And when I say props, I'm probably going to use all 3 of my blocks today. I'll show you how. I've even got a bolster and a blanket, but it's just a really good opportunity, and I'm going to show you how to do it in case you've never done it before, and it's a game changer. So if you're not into pigeon, you're like, oh, I'm going to do figure 4 no matter what, I hate pigeon. Maybe you try it with these props, and maybe it's a little different. So let's get started. Go ahead and lay all the way down. I am going to walk you through figure 4 first, and then we'll move into pigeon. So go ahead and lay all the way down. Arms and legs go long, one hand on heart, one hand on belly. You know the drill. Relax the shoulders, relax your eyes. Let's take 3 full breaths. Inhale. The belly should rise more than the chest. Exhale. 2 more. Let the exhale linger just a little bit longer. 1 more. Beautiful. All right, let's move into figure 4 first. So you'll draw the knees into the chest one at a time. Take your time. Right ankle will go on the top of the left thigh, just above the knee joint, kind of looks like below it here. And then right hand goes through the floor, so between the legs, and captures the left hand on the back of the left thigh. You might capture the front of the shin. Some folks do that. You can use a strap here. I don't have mine handy, but if you want to grab a strap and use that, especially if you notice that you need to crunch up to be able to connect your hands. So if you are in a crunch, that's not what we want. This is the challenge. This isn't the crunchage challenge. So lay all the way back down, grab a strap, grab a towel or your blanket, and use that as your leverage. Another option is right hand on the right knee and then left hand on left knee. As you pull the left knee in, you push the right knee away. We're feeling the stretch in the back of the hip here along like the backside of your right glutes, kind of deep into that meaty part of your butt, basically. So this is a good stretch for piriformis, which is a muscle that sometimes pinches the sciatic nerve. So if you find that you get that sensation, this could be a good stretch for you. So you're going to hug it all the way in and really just hold here. You can extend the top leg or the bent leg if you want, but you don't have to. This is meant to feel chill. I like to even play around with the knees going to the left and then to the right, and then just noticing what I feel. But breathe into the right hip. And then you'll do the same on the other side. So I'll walk you through switching to the other side. The left ankle would come to the top of the right thigh. Hands can come around and through, or hands on knees, or grab your strap, whatever it is. And you can stay in these for both sides. I am going to hold us in pigeon, so let's move on to pigeon if that's the one that you want to do today. So you'll rise all the way up and come on to your hands and knees. So kind of like a tabletop position. From here, the right knee is going to come towards the right wrist, towards the pinky side. So a little wider than the hip and a little wider than the hands and shoulders. Now start to slide the left leg back as you sink the hips down towards the mat. So what we're aiming for is the hips sink down. You start to feel a stretch in the front of the left hip and then a nice stretch in the right glute. But if you don't feel the stretch in the right glute, maybe you kind of pull the heel away from the hip. Now we're not pulling super far away because that can add any sort of pain to the knee, because any rotation the hip can't do here because it's tight, the knee is going to try to take, and we don't want that. So I actually keep mine pretty close. You can always take the right knee a little wider than the body. But here's where props come in handy. So when you got here, if you immediately slumped over to the right side and you look like this, you need a block under your right hip. I talked earlier about how I have two different sizes. The littler size, which, or by Halle Berry, which cracks me up, goes under the right hip here. And notice how instantly I'm more propped. Now, when I do that, I then like to take one on the front of my thigh as well, kind of negotiate with your foot, because I like to sleep my pigeon and lay all the way down. You may stay up here. This may be enough, and you're like, I'm literally going to chill right here. That's okay. Otherwise, we're all going to come down and lay down. Oops, I used the wrong height on that one, so switch that out. So nice if they match heights. Here's where other props come in handy. When you sleep your pigeon, a block underneath the chest is nice because it keeps you kind of straight and flat, especially if you start to feel a sensation in the low spine. And then a bolster underneath your head. I am using two blocks under my hips, a block under my chest, and a bolster blanket under my head. And this should feel good. You should be able to hang out here. You don't have to use any of these props. You can remove them all, and you can lay all the way down. You choose. But I want you to keep it nice and even. The props really help find the ease. You're going to hold this side for a little bit longer, and I want you to take some full breaths here. And with every exhale, I want you to say the mantra, I release what is no longer serving me. Tension, judgments, narratives in the mind that just do not serve us fade away. This is one that I get a little fidgety in. This one can be hard to hold for a significant amount of time. That's why I love all of the props. Can you sink and soften a little more? Another posture that we remind ourselves that yoga is about finding stillness, but we are never stuck. Move if you need. Wiggle the toes if you need. But the moment your breath becomes constricted because of what you feel in the body, we adjust. Because the breath guides us to surrender. Take one more on this side. Exhale, release what is no longer serving you. Your next inhale to rise. Slowly come all the way up onto the palms. Extend the right leg behind you. Shake it out if you need. Sometimes we just need that blood flow to come back. Little pins and needle feeling can happen. So that's normal. We might have cut off a little circulation as we stretch deep there, especially if we're really tight. So let's go to the other side. Left knee will come towards the pinky side of the left wrist as the heel comes down towards the hip. If you want your props, grab the blocks, place them under hips or thigh, and slowly start to sink down. Relax your forehead. You can stack your fists if you need somewhere to place your head and the floor feels a little far. Just simply stack your two fists or your forearms and soften. And sometimes letting go is a lot easier said than done, right? So here, sometimes it helps by squeezing the glutes really tight, because then once you've found that extreme, you can let go. Same on this side. Breath in, breath out. Release what is no longer serving you. you sink and settle a little bit more. This side might feel different. That's okay. A few more moments on this side. One more inhale. Exhale, surrender. Next inhale, press through the palms. No rush. Slowly rise on up. Great job. Once again, remove the props out of the way. Slide anything out of the way. If you're on your back, you can lay all the way down. Otherwise, meet me in a seat. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Let's take one big breath in together. Exhale. Open the eyes. Great work today. I hope you enjoyed that one, and I will see you tomorrow.